Welcome to Investors Gallery. If you're watching this either from LinkedIn or YouTube, watching a full video, I am not in my art gallery. I'm not even at home. So for the newcomers who trip upon or find this podcast, normally I'm in my home. I've built about a 500 square foot home office and art gallery where I do my podcast. And I not only speak about stuff and teach about stuff, I do it. So right now I'm in Dallas. I had to come here to look at some properties, some developments that my team and I are looking at. I am the principal of Dimensional Capital Partners. The other half is on the other side of the room. I'm actually using his hotel room. So thank you, sir. But everything that you see here today is to be able to give information to you, the audience, the public, so you have access to amazing people like George, and you can contact him. And the reason why I created this is if you're not in this industry, which is multifamily or high-level real estate or commercial real estate, we'll call it, sometimes it's difficult to meet people or be able to have the opportunity to ask questions to high-level people. So I have amazing people here like George to be able to answer your questions, introduce themselves, and find out what they do. And that way you'll have more information, more resources, and become successful, or at least get a little bit more information about what you're trying to do as well. So George, I appreciate you for coming so much, especially at my makeshift hotel. Tell us and tell the audience what you do, how you got into it, and tell us your life story.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah. So my name is George Salas. I am from Peru originally. I'm naturalized here in the U.S. now, and I was born down there, and moved up here when I was 15 years old. Lived in an adobe house, and the whole nine yards. Right. I played soccer on the street, so I moved up here in 2000. And from then, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? So I had the dream of becoming an entrepreneur, and just truly wanted to always just build something sustainable, something stable, and that would give myself, my family, the freedom. So I went through the trials and tribulations of becoming an entrepreneur. And I started in 2007-ish. As starting my own business, right? And I was an event marketer, so I would do events all around Houston. We're from the same city, by the way. I always forget that. I'm like, man, Pressley, I'm gonna meet up with Pressley.
Yeah, we gotta link up, man.
So, so started doing that, and in 2015, I invested into a nightclub, right? And then I invested about $400,000. That I had saved over 7 years, right? And this is my big lesson here. I went in without enough knowledge, without enough preparation, without enough skill in business, right? And I partnered with the wrong people. And I made a lot of mistakes in that partnership just because I'm not blaming this other person, right? I'm blaming myself because I am very adamant about making sure that I don't, we never do, and we never put blames on the people, right? Everything that you do in wherever you're in life, it's your own fault, right? So I made that mistake, partnered with the wrong person. The entire nightclub event, right? Event venue nightclub was a $1.3 million project, and it was on a lease of land, and boom, lost it about a year and a half later. So it was bad, right? So after that, I realized that I wanted to do something different and something else in life, and that could be something different, right? So I went into real estate, and I was doing fix and flips at first. So started off with about 10 fix and flips, maybe 15. And then I did wholesale deals all throughout 2018 and 19. And then that's when I transitioned to short-term rentals, right? So I am an investor, and I help entrepreneurs and real estate investors really increase their cash flow and build wealth through short-term rentals. And we have a really cool strategy that we work with investors that essentially has the short-term rental strategy and then a wealth creation strategy on top of that. So I built now from then till now, right? From being super broke in 2018, I built a portfolio, and we did about $1.2 million in actual short-term rental revenue last year, and so 2.5 overall in the 3.5 years I've been in the business. So that's pretty much a quick rundown of where I've been, where I came, and now I'm in an awesome podcast, and I meet amazing people. I'm in so many masterminds. I've got a blueprint and I teach people how to do this business. I've got my own portfolio. We're launching a fund, right, which is the coolest thing ever, a short-term rental fund. here in the next 45 days. So thanks for the invite, bro.
Appreciate. So, man, so many questions. I really want to take notes in my podcast. I'm like, but that's so unprofessional. Okay, so I hear interviews like this a lot, and as the person in the audience watching, it seems like they always miss key questions to understand the psyche of people. And that's one of the things that I want to try to do, just in general, not even specifically with you, but just in general, because I don't want any stone unturned or any little gold nugget of information that might be pivotal to someone else's transformation. So, first question: what did you do, or series of things did you do throughout those 7 years to be able to save up $400,000?
Well, first of all, I was working my butt off, right? Like Grant Cardone says, take massive, massive steps of action, right? So I was taking a lot of action, even though I was working and my time was being delivered in exchange of money, right? I was still being able to save money. So I would put aside, I would save a lot of expense. I would put a lot of it aside, right? I was younger, and then I was making
You don't
really
need
good
much when
money.
you're young.
Yeah, right. I was sharing a freaking apartment with 2 other roommates, and then we were splitting all the bills. The only thing I had knives was my car, right? So I was just saving, and that's how I saved them up. And then I started trying to figure out, like, how do I invest this, right? So that's when I ran into a wrong investment person per se, right? So yeah, it was a lot of hard work. I was on the hustle, right, and for many years, and hustle equaling, meaning like I'm working hard, right? And I'm not working smart. I'm working
Right.
hard.
Right.
So that's how I say them.
So, okay. Because I'm following your progress, right? So you're saving money.
Yeah.
What kept you from investing once you got to the 50,000, the 100, the 200, 300? Why didn't you invest then? And what made you invest once you got to the 400,000?
Yeah. So it wasn't like I was waiting. It was just more, I was so busy working, right?
Okay.
So I think it was more the knowledge that I really didn't have. And I had a passion for playing soccer and things that really didn't catch my, they didn't really help my career, right? And it was cool as a hobby, and I would spend a lot of time doing other things that really didn't make myself grow, right? So I would say knowledge and growth was one of those things that had stopped me, right? Which is the comparison today is I'm growing every single day, right? There's no stop to growth. You're growing every day. So today I'm looking at myself like all the mistakes I made when I was younger, right? And then I don't make them because I'm educating myself. I have mentors, I have coaches, I have business partners that are great, and they have the skills and knowledge that I don't have, meaning different areas of business, right? So yeah, man.
How did that pitch come? You're working, you're hustling, you're grinding, and then you get a phone call, text, email, nod. How did that information come, or how was it presented to you to say, hey, we're doing this nightclub, do you want to invest?
Well, I was already doing marketing for this guy, right? So, and it was his nightclub, and I was doing marketing, and he wanted to get out of that club, that actual venue, and start a new one. So, just brought it up, and and then yeah, we started chatting, and when you don't have the knowledge to invest, right? You just kind of follow the expert, and he was the expert because he had the business, right? So that's the big pivot that I'm trying to make, the big shift that I'm trying to make everyone's thinking, right? So from then, the mistakes that you make when you don't know something, right? You can make big mistakes, but the thing is, you've got to educate yourself, right? So I went, and after I lost everything, I educated myself with books, with seminars, with classes, with courses, right? And still do today in different areas, right? Like sales and marketing, in just different areas that are outside of my expertise that as a business owner I need.
What Give us some resources. So what kind of books, what authors, what conferences, what somebody's following your footsteps, how can they get to where you're at now? What did you read?
Oh my goodness. I have read hundreds of books, about 150 plus since 2018.
Wow.
So, and that's a combination of reading and listening to audibles, right? And repetitive audibles. I'm a big fan of somebody that's in entrepreneurship and then also that has the ability to create wealth through real estate, right? So, my first book was by Gary Keller. Okay, and then the name of that was the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, right? So that was a mindset book for a real estate investor. Gary Keller, he's the owner of Keller Williams, right? He's a big guy, billionaire. So I'm also a big fan of staying motivated and staying always ahead in your mind. So I love the personal development side. So Brendon Burchard, Burchard, Burchard is one of my number one choices when it comes to personal growth, right? So Brendon Burchard has several books and has awesome platforms. So I'm a fan of his courses, his books. So, and I use his tools for daily personal development, right? And when it comes to business, man, I love Grant Cardone's energy, right? Just because I am following footsteps of energy, right? Not mimicking him or being like him, but I love what he's built and where he came from. Same thing as me. Like I came from nothing. I built a pretty decent, nice little portfolio. We're launching a nice little fund. I know you have one, right? So, yeah, just Grant Cardone, big, right? I would say Chris Cron is good. He's also high energy, right? Action taker. He's also is built a really nice portfolio, 5,000 plus houses, and then he's the new generation real estate investor, right? I follow Bigger Pockets, right? So anybody, there's many Bigger Pockets books. And then Darren Hardy is my leadership, I would say high achieving mentor. So Darren Hardy, I would say, has had the most impact in my life.
Okay, so you educated yourself, conferences, and yeah, I think I have maybe 20 books, but I have most of the things that I digest is through Audible. I don't have time to sit in one spot and read a book, but I do have time to drive and listen. I think it's very very convenient. So you went to you invested into the nightclub. How did you transition and how did you discover short-term rentals?
Okay, perfect, man. Great question. So I invested into this thing, just went out of business a year and a half later. This is right before the Hurricane Harvey here in 2017, right? So after that, our doors get closed, and I as an investor, I didn't have a lot of say so, right? I was investor, marketer, or somebody else's project, right? So and then I'm just sitting in my kitchen of my apartment at the time, not really knowing what am I going to do with my life. Pressley.
I hear that a lot from a lot of successful people.
Yeah, I was just sitting there. What am I going to do? Right. I knew I had something better for me, but I just didn't know what to do at that time. So I got a phone call from a friend of mine here in Houston. I always give him that credit. He has been a good friend and he's inspired me to get into real estate, where I transitioned to before I transitioned to short-term rentals. His name is Brent here in H-Town, and he's in oil now. He called me one day, Pressley, and then he goes, "George, I need you to get your ass to this house." And I said, "What for, bro?" Like I'm gonna show you a few things. Get over here. Came over. We spent about 3 hours there. There's about 10 to 15 people, and he was hitting the point of like, "Hey, if I can do this, you can do this," right? And this all showing many examples of what he was doing, how much money he was making, how to do the deal. And it's all in a single family in Cypress, Texas. So how he was flipping a house. So that ignited the fire I had in me, Pressley. And there's always been that fire. There just wasn't maybe the spark. That was the spark. So I always tell him, thank you for that. Right. So from then I went into just a mode of like, I'm going to do real estate. I'm made for real estate, right? This is what I do. This is my life purpose, right? And I went into learning mode, right? Learning. So I went to seminars many months straight, every single weekend. You know, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. I didn't have a lot of money. I had maybe $5,000 in my pocket at the time. You know, say so, and no assets. I lost everything, right? So the big change was the next day. I said, I'm going to do this, right? Then I went to learn, and then I started realizing that I'm a very resourceful person. So the lesson here is that as I was shut down and I was just on my knees, I also realized that I was better than that, right? And then I could do things that were unimaginable, right? So I set myself to do them, and as I started doing them, I would teach myself, I would learn, I would ask questions, and I would use my resources. Because I knew a lot of people, and I still do. I was able to call a bunch of people and then say, hey, I'm starting real estate. Let's do some deals. Hey, what are you doing? What's going on here, man? Let's do a deal. Hey, you want to invest here? Let's do a flip. Let's do this. That's how I started my real estate journey. And I started attending. I remember I went in and I would do free, like I would just service these REIAs, right? So Real Estate Investment Association meetups, and I would just go help for free. And I would meet the owners, and the owners would become really good friends with me, and I would just help them out, right? I would help them set up. I would help them do all this stuff with the REIA volunteer, and they would introduce me to people. And that's how I started building, meeting the wholesalers and private lenders and all that, right? Just a few months later, I was doing 4 or 5 flips, right? Because I was hustling every day, right? And I figured out what wholesaling was in summer of 2018. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do some wholesaling, Pressley. Let's go. You can actually get a property, get a contract, and sell this thing for $10,000, $15,000.
Almost no risk.
Yeah, right. So I made $62,000 my second month wholesaling, my first month, right? July, and then it was very steady from there. But that gave me a second breakthrough, right? And life is all about the breakthroughs. When I have breakthroughs, I'm like, wow, I should have been doing this whole time, this thing, right? So I went into wholesaling as well, and I took that money and I invested into what we call rental arbitrage, Pressley. Okay, rental arbitrage is a rent-to-rent model. Like I'm renting apartments at the time. Now I do homes. I don't do any apartments. It's just all about homes, single family, right? I was renting apartments and I was subleasing them on Airbnb. Okay. And that's how I get started in the short-term rental journey. In April of 2018 is when I heard about it. And then in August when I launched my first 8 apartments. Okay.
8 at one time?
8 one single studio units at one time. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I said, I'm doing this.
Massive action.
Yep. So that was the start, right? And then by the end of 2019, we had like 20 something apartments. And at the beginning of 2020, we had at the end of 2020, pandemic. At the end of 2019, we had already 30 plus in a couple houses, right? So when the pandemic hit, it was a big shift, right? I had a bunch of these apartments all within a 2-mile radius, and then that's when the second mistake came, right? I had too many properties in similar locations, and then when the cities got shut down, there's nothing we could really do, but I had to hustle again for 18 hours a day, right? Second hustling, right? So for a few months, I was hustling and really just paying the bills for the apartment. That's when I said, hey, what does my business model need that I'm doing wrong? I realized that it needed bigger margins. So I started pivoting my business into higher end homes, right? Nicer homes, 300,000 to 500,000 at the time. Now they're probably like 600, 700, right? So, and we started launching homes. I realized that the money was where the homes, and the homes where the money was, right? So we pivoted our entire business model, and today we do strictly homes. All my clients have homes, and we really focus on median and above. So our target is to help investors really acquire a 6-figure property, 6-figure a year property that brings 6-figure revenue in 120 days. And we really work with people that dedicatedly, just every single day to be able to help them get that goal, right? 120 days, boom, get your first property.
Wow, that's amazing. So you on the personal end do short-term rentals. And then your service to the public, which I mean, you also probably get paid for it, is coaching and teaching others how to do the same thing.
We have a little bit of, I would say, not just coaching, but more of a service and an investment ending, right? So, like at the end of our funnel, like what we provide investors. So, essentially, we've got the portfolio of our own, right? We have also the coaching and then the fund, right? So when we talk to people, we work with people. Essentially, we invite them into a conversation to see where they're at, whether they either can invest on and do their own stuff, and we can teach it to them, right? Which is the coaching and consulting, right? Or they can invest with us, right? So either or. We partner with a lot of our clients, right? So we do this partnership, 50-50 partnership model, where they come in, they put up the cash, and then we essentially do an LLC together, right? So we've got a few of those, and then also the fund at the end that we're about to launch in the next few weeks. And it's all based on that one model, right? It's six-figure properties. I've got properties that bring me $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I've got properties that bring me $15,000 to $20,000 a month. So, and the commonality on these properties have been like amenities, have been locations, have been just a model. So I built out a blueprint to be able to take all my properties through that process.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
What's the next step? What's after this?
The next step is building that 100-house portfolio that is gonna really create even more freedom. You know, we're launching our fund in about 45 days, so at the end of October-ish, so maybe like more like 60 days. You know, and that's really going to focus on Texas, median. We call it median luxury, right? And you know, building an empire. You know, I just had a son about 3-4 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Was it it's July 20th? So it's a little bit more than 4 weeks ago. Thank you, bro. So yeah,
I'm on kid number 3. I don't remember nobody's birthday.
Golly, 3 of them. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So, you know, it's going to be a $10 million vacation rental fund.
Okay.
And I'll be happy to share our business model.
Is it a B or a C?
Well, we're making that decision this week. I originally went for a C, which is accredited investors only. And then now with I partnered with the group, right? And this group is going public here in the next year, their company. So I partnered with a guy that really helps other entrepreneurs scale funds, right? So which is really cool. So now I've got the structure, the infrastructure. I don't have to go build out a team, and I could really focus on what I'm great at, which you know, which is the raising the capital and then the expertise in the short-term rental industry, right? Instead of having to manage all the back end and infrastructure of that fund.
Yeah, I might need their number. So my partner is also my securities attorney, and yeah, we're working on that. But to have a team do the stuff we could be better utilizing our time for might be an advantage as well. So yeah, we'll talk offline about that.
Bro, absolutely. I'll be happy to share, man.
That's amazing. So got it, lost it, got it back. Now you're doing amazing. What are some things that you're able to do that you never thought you would be able to do before, financially, or, you know, trips, cars, stuff that first world problems?
First world problems. I love it. Okay, so just went on a vacation to Hawaii.
Which one?
Ago.
Which island?
3
You don't
islands.
remember? Because I went to Hawaii and I don't remember which island.
I went to Oahu and Maui.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 islands, right?
2 islands,
so we
okay.
spent 4 days. I've never taken such a beautiful vacation in the last decade. So that was pretty amazing. I traveled to 25 cities in the last year and a half with my wife before we had our kid.
Business or pleasure?
24 of them were conferences.
Okay.
Don't laugh. We always took a day off at the end to go leisure, right? To go check, you know, the scenery and to relax and just to kind of, you know, think about everything we learned. So it is business with a little bit of pleasure. Yeah.
It basically mastermind. You went to a whole bunch of masterminds.
You got it, bro. I'm in 3 masterminds. I've spent over 120,000 in the last year and a half in education between courses, books. My accountant's like, you're spending too much money. And I said, I know I'm not, because I'm going to get 30, 40 ROI on everything. 30, 40, 50x, 100x ROI, right? So, because it's fast tracking everything you're doing.
Preach, brother, preach. Let me pass you the collection plate. We have a coaching program as well, and we have what we believe is the lowest cost coaching program in the multifamily realm, but also we also feel we have the most services what we offer in the coaching program. So you have access to our attorney, CPA, software, and then the typical stuff, do the tours and all that stuff. And when I speak to students, they're like, how much is it? I'm like, it don't matter. I understand that's the knee-jerk question, but the real question should be, when you teach me what you say you're going to teach me, how fast is it going to take me to get to that level? And 2, what is the probability of me being successful? Because when you hear direct marketing, which is the MLMs, they're like, hey, you can make $1 million, if you sell this many of the product and you bring this many people on. How many people are actually obtaining that $1 million income level? In real estate, it's a good chunk of us, the ones who are serious and the ones who make the phone calls and put in the work and put in the 16 to 18-hour days. We're consistently successful. So I keep trying to tell them it doesn't matter how much you spent 125,000.
120,000.
And how much are you going to make from that? You're going to make Millions. 7 figures, 8 figures. So why does it matter if it's 100,000? And last thing that I tell them is, well, it doesn't matter how much it costs. It matters how much you make. But the real question should be, where can I find the money to do it? If it's $200,000, how do I go find $200,000 so I can go make $20 million? So I appreciate you, and I appreciate you just being vocal, not because it's going to help me sell or anything, but it's just the fact that it reinforces, and I guess maybe it makes me feel better to know that I'm telling my students what everybody else is doing as well.
Absolutely.
So favorite conference?
Thank you, brother. Your ability to shortcut anything in life is right to avoid the pain and how expensive it is to make all the mistakes I've made, you've made, right? That's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all on a mentor or a coach. That's what they help you do. They help you keep you accountable. They'll help you not make as many mistakes. You're still gonna make mistakes, right? So it's
at least not the ones that they make. You make new mistakes.
You make new ones. There you go. Exactly. Well, sometimes, I mean, we're still gonna do what we want, right? And we're gonna learn from our own mistakes. Yeah, brother.
All right. So what was your favorite conference that you've been to so far?
Oh my God.
I know they're probably blurring together at this point.
Yeah, they're I mean, let me think. The ones that I always think that are my favorite are the ones where I go and my heroes are there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My heroes are there. So I went to this conference called the Hero Coaches Summit, and my heroes were there.
Tim Myers, my guy.
Were there. Yeah, that's my heroes over there, right? I go to the Family Mastermind. The Family Mastermind, I've got a shirt on that says the Family Mastermind. I'm in that mastermind as well, right? And it's a real estate mastermind, and my heroes are there, right? These are people with hundreds and thousands of deals over years, and even though I've got 100, cool, like I'm gonna get there, right? Now I'm hanging out with these high-level people, and they're bringing up my energy, right? And that's what being in a high-level group does. Brings up everything you already have. I mean, I met you at a conference, right? I met you at Fun Launch Live. And where was it? In Vegas.
Vegas, yep.
Yeah. So, but there's one thing that I want to share with everybody that we're doing that's different than everybody else. I know a bunch of people doing short-term rentals. If you allow me, I'll be happy to share.
Please do, man. Yes, please do. Thank you.
Beautiful. So I realized that short-term rentals is a great strategy, Pressley, right? So, but I also realized that only has one component of wealth creation, okay, which is the exit strategy, the strategy that you use. So what I've been doing over the last few months is not only creating a second exit, which is the fund where people have the ability to invest in our fund, right? But also creating the front end. So what we did is we created a triangle, so three-step strategy, right? That I'm releasing. It's not released yet, but it is now, right? It is coming very, very soon. We haven't launched it publicly. We're literally just talking about it just to get a little bit of buzz, in some podcasts and in our live streams. So the strategy consists of 3 steps. It's a wealth creation strategy for high-level real estate investors, right? And not only for short-term rentals, right? It could essentially help anybody. We're working with a company right now to leverage this first step. It's called leverage. Leverage, insure, and deploy is the 3 steps of the strategy we're creating. Okay, it's a wealth triangle. In the leverage, we're now incorporating people, and we're essentially teaching how to leverage, and we're servicing as part of our. We partner with a company out of Minnesota, right? That's going to deliver the services to build up their part 1 of leverage, which is your business credit, right? So if you're leveraging your business credit, you leverage business funding, and then you're able to borrow money and become bankable, right? You build up. So we've partnered with somebody to come in and work with all of our clients, give that service to build their business credit, take their cash flow, right? And be able to help them do that. That's step number 1. Then 2 is we're going to add a component to where people like you and I, right? I'm raising capital now, you're raising capital, right? And raising OPM, other people's money, is the way to scale, right? So that's a way to scale. So we're adding that to our strategy. Step number 1 is leverage. Step number 2 is you're going to be blown away. I'm sure you've heard, but maybe not. Step number 2 is insure. We're insuring our money and our assets, our investments, through a strategy called Vortex Banking, okay? Vortex Banking. Have you ever heard of Vortex Banking?
I haven't heard of it, but it sounds similar to some other banking and strategy. I wouldn't call them loopholes, but
yeah.
Please expound.
Okay, so yeah, they're tax loopholes, right? So this is essentially an asset protection and tax strategy to insure. The difference between infinite banking and vortex banking, if you guys are listening, look up. I'm going to tell you exactly what the difference is. Infinite banking, you're using, right? You're using a vehicle, which is an insurance policy, or this is what we're doing ourselves, right? So you're using a vehicle without the trust component. What we're doing is you're doing vortex banking, right? Vortex banking, we're using the infinite banking concept with a trust, okay? So your infinite banking concept is where you put in money. I'm not going to go into details, but you put in money and then you take out 90, 80, whatever percentage. Through the vortex banking strategy, you can take out 90%. 2 weeks later, so the cash value out of that, right, it's you can take out 90% immediately. It's all because of the trust. So if you have cash flow in your business, or you have even gross revenue and you create a cash flow analysis, right? Any business owner could use this for their real estate business or for whatever they're doing, right? So essentially, we're working with clients for them to put in their money. It's all owned by a vehicle called a trust. It's a special copyrighted trust. It's a spendthrift trust. Yeah, it's copyrighted. Now there are several types of spendthrift trusts. What we have is we actually partner with those people that created our own trust to be able to deliver this to our clients. So when I put somebody through the 3 steps, it's, hey, let us help you get your finances in check, get some more cash, get some credit lines, get some term loans. I've got somebody doing that. Then we send them, hey, now you've got the money, run that cash or your business cash flow through a policy. The policy is owned by a trust, and you defer. This is what we do. I'm not a financial advisor, an attorney, or an accountant, so I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not giving legal advice. I am just telling you guys what we do, and it is a disclaimer. Yes. All right. So So we're doing that. We're putting our money through. It's owned by our trust, and we're taking it out. And now we are deferring our taxes, capital gains, passive income, K1 income, royalty income, and even active income. Not
Wow,
100%.
that's a big part.
Yep. So even active. So most businesses out there, right, are active. So we're doing that because we also have active income companies, right? Such as our coaching company, right? And sometimes we offer a service, right, for short-term rentals for some of our students. And we also have a management company that we manage our own properties. So that's all active income. And our own clients ask us for management. So like they'll throw in and they'll come in through our partners, and a couple of our clients will have our properties managed within internally, right? Then you deploy. Step number 3 is deploy. That's where we teach them how to create a highly profitable and high performance strategy, such as short-term rentals. And I call it 6-figure short-term rentals because every project we do and every client we work with, our goal is to create them a 6-figure income from one property. So that's the breakdown of the strategy.
That's amazing. So one property per Ferrari.
One property per Ferrari. Well, I mean, 100K is not going to get you a good Ferrari, and that's only gross.
Oh no,
right?
that's passive income. No, it's passive income. That's going to take care of the note.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're talking about cash at the end of the year
no,
or something.
no.
Yeah.
Four properties to get you four per Ferrari.
Yes, 4 per Ferrari.
That'd be like the
I
diamond
love
level.
it, man. I love it.
What is a gold nugget that took you a while to learn or to understand that you would like to help us fast track by telling us? What's a secret or a strategy that you've developed, learned, or experienced?
Absolutely. I'm going to share part of our core values that we essentially live by every day, that I live by every day, right? And if you just think of these 3 things in life every single day, your life will change forever for good. Okay? Step number one is growth and learning. Number 2 is process. Okay? Growth and learning every single day. Right? Every day I grow and I learn. Every single day I improve my process. And number 3 is purpose. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this? Who is it for? Like deeply, like if there is a higher purpose on the things that you're doing today, it's going to drive you to achieve them. Your family could be a higher purpose, building a legacy, which is our purpose, my purpose, right? Legacy for my family. And a legacy, as part of my step number 3, is the purpose. A legacy to me is what you've done for this world, how you've impacted people, what they think about you, right? Now, how much have you helped them? Right. What have you done for them? So those 3, growth, the learning, process, and purpose.
I think you can write a book just off of that.
I will write one day, bro. It's coming. It's coming.
I'll hold you to it.
It's coming.
And I think my next 3 weeks are booked, but we need to just go do lunch, just for the sake of and then also talk about your company, your resources on the fund side.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, we're in town. I missed your event last week, so
sold out, brother.
The last Thursday, right?
Yeah, it's sold out.
So okay, I'll be there next week because I love hanging out with you guys in Vegas. So
yep, the 15th, every third Thursday, even though last week
third Thursday
was not a third Thursday, it was a fourth Thursday. It was a lot of Thursdays last month or this month. So yeah.
So what's the next one's date?
The 15th. So after 15th. That, it'll be every third Thursday. And we're going to have it. So October, November, and December, it doesn't fall on any holidays. So
Love it.
Yeah, I'm glad you'd be able to make it out. So I want to turn it over real quick to the audience just to see if anyone, actually, before I do that, scoot to the side, George, so everybody can see your website, and also say it audibly so the people who are listening on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's georgesalas360.com. And my Facebook group is the new realestateinvestor.com. georgesalas360.com. Yeah, I'll be happy to connect.
Do you have any podcasts or anything else that people should look for you on?
Yeah, we inside our group, we give a lot of resources. We have a live stream there with a new topic on investing every single week. And are you in the group, brother? I hope you are. Maybe not. I'm gonna invite you. So it's our Facebook group, and we do a live stream. It's called the Six Figure STR Show.
Okay.
And we talk about one topic in real estate investing and short-term rentals, right? Like today was pricing of properties. Last week was a Q&A with somebody that's doing 60K, no, I'm sorry, 30K per month in one of our clients. And the week before was another one on another topic, right? And then the week before, I did a, every single month we do a report of the short-term rental industry as well, right? And we're going to be talking about investing there as well, and the fund and all this cool stuff. Man, I think I mentioned to you, you should probably come on and discuss a little bit about capital raising or something.
Yeah. I would love to. This is my passion. So don't get me excited. I'm waiting on an invite.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, let's pick a topic and let's chat, brother.
Does anybody in the audience have a question, comment, technical difficulty? And hey, Jay.
Hi there. Great to see you all. It was very informative information. I like to see people align on the same page with people we all know in common as well. So thanks again.
Thanks, Jay. Jay, email me your address. I want to send you a shirt. Jay.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions for George before I let him go and I get on this 4-hour long drive home?
Goodness. Yeah, I see Lori.
Lori, you're supposed to promote your
I'm supposed to promote. Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so yeah, I'm supposed to promote, but first one, I just had a quick question.
Yes.
You actually give courses, or
which one of us?
Well, I think Pressley, I believe you do, but George, you do as well?
Hi, Lori. How are you today, by the way?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Great. Fantastic. Thank you.
First of all, thank you for this.
You're welcome. I am happy to, have provided the value. I try to give as much as I could, right, in the short amount of time that we have.
I think people that are in real estate are the best people, because they really, I think for the most part, no, I'm serious. Like, you can only be in this business if you really care about everyone else and want to learn and share. That's what I think.
I love it. I love it. Yes. So real estate's a great industry. Okay. And it's where you can really build long-term wealth, right? Any type of real estate, right? Because real estate appreciates, right? So over time, it's a great industry. It's changed my life, changed millions of people's lives. And it's the fastest way to, I believe fastest way to become a millionaire is through short-term rentals and real estate, right? And to answer your question, we have one course, but we have two coaching and mentorship programs, right? One of them is 120 days fast track, and the other one is a year.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah.
That's cool.
And the majority of our clients are in the year. We just launched 120 day, but I teach the strategy, the wealth creation strategy with the trust and this whole, right, in the year one, not in the short one, because the short one is too short to teach them that. And it's very difficult to achieve all those things within 120 days. Right. So Does that answer your question, Lori?
Okay, thank you. I just
Very
said I
welcome.
can add a note about myself. I don't know
Yes,
how many
please.
people there are here, but I am in the lending industry for over 20 years. Started out in the residential arena, and I don't believe anyone here is in the residential side, but I moved on to the hard money and to the commercial side. Now, I do have something very attractive that's, I believe, a little different than everyone else. We can do 6.5% up to 15 million if you really have a good, strong PFS. And if you need to bypass an appraisal, they will consider that as well, but they will lower the leverage. So sometimes you need to get a deal done, and you need to close. Maybe the whoever didn't come through, or it's just too good of a deal to pass on. We can close something like that in 7 to 9 business days. And if anyone wants to reach me, my email is Laurie, LAURIE, at L as in Laurie, REISS, team.com. My phone where you can text me is 347-786-2347.
Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. And
thank you.
We want people to promote themselves on here. It wasn't a shameless plug. We actually talked to Lori before, for everybody who's listening, before you hear the podcast start. We were like, no, when you come on, tell everybody what you do. We want people to come on and have resources. And it's the same thing with the event that we have, or I should say I have once a month. My job is to bring resources to the car show / investor meetup. So if you're an investor and you come to the venue, we have lenders there, we have appraisers there, we have roofers there who can work on your multifamily, your single family, your short-term rental. So it's all about networking and creating relationships. So we appreciate you so much, Lori.
Sure. Do you have a list of all the people that attended today that I can hook on with them?
I don't, because Tim Mai ends up in all of my podcasts.
Who is that?
How?
Because so Tim does a podcast as well. I believe it's Capital Raisers is the name of his podcast. But Tim does a podcast, and in the beginning of his podcast, he asked everyone to put their information in the chat, and I always forget consistently. Because that's not the way that I really initially set up the platform, and my brain is based on routine. So yeah, in some kind of way, I end up talking about Tim in every single podcast. Tim was also one of the panelists as well. So yeah, you missed his Harley, George. Tim drove his Harley to the event.
Nice. I saw the picture. Yeah.
All right.
What's his last name?
Mai, MAI. TIM and then MAI.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Lori, I'd love to connect. If you don't mind, maybe shooting me a message or something on. And
are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, but I don't really use it as much. I'm a Facebook guy.
So how could I?
The website, George Salas 360. Wait,
okay.
This one.
All right.
Yeah, George Salas 360. Let me scoot over. There you go. So yeah, I'd love to connect. If you have, shoot me a message or an email or a messenger or something, and I like your rates.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And Lori, those are bridge loans?
Yeah, I mean they're CapEx,
Okay. Cool. I appreciate it. Well, Lori, I already have your email because you're registered. So I will reach out to you as well, just so I can have your information when we need it. We're like George says, we're about to launch our fund as well. Both of our funds are really small in the fund world. Mine is 100 million. Big funds are what? Billions, 800 millions, crazy, something crazy like that. So yeah, we're both working on launching ours. No more questions, guys. If not, I will let George go. And I appreciate everyone from coming. Yeah, George, it's a lot. So George, I told George that I was at a hotel and I was just kind of doing a makeshift area for the podcast. He's like, no, brother, we can reschedule. I'm like, no, it's live. Like people show up, and I don't want people to click on a link and us not be here. So thank you, George.
There you go. You
Yeah,
proved.
absolutely.
There you go. You proved your responsibility.
Yes,
So
yes.
I just finished saying these are only good people.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, brother. Hey, guys, pleasure being here, and thanks again, brother. We'll chat.
Thanks, George. All right.
Thank
Talk
you.
to
Bye-bye.
everybody later. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.